He's pulled.
Hello, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns. Tonight we have another Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament match. It is brackets time, and we are bringing you two matches from the Losers Bracket Round 1. We have TheCowness versus Schmidtty and fon2d2 versus AmazingToaster. And it's going to be do or die for one person from each of these matchups. And I'm going to tell them to get ready. So I am joined tonight by Freako and Nightcrawler and commentary. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
I'm doing pretty well.
I'll let you know when I wake up.
Okay. Isn't there a song about that?
Could be. You got an hour and a half to write something.
Okay, and they should be off soon, so I will send it off to you two. Thank you very much.
Synchronizing.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, with fon2d2 versus AmazingToaster, I think fon2d2 is kind of the dark horse there. With TheCowness versus Schmidtty, I think it's a bit of a toss-up actually. TheCowness might have a slight advantage.
Well, looking at the seeding, not that is really indicative of anything. TheCowness was our 7 seed and took a loss up against, Jay Coper in the second round. Both were afforded a bye from the first round of the main bracket. And on the other side of the matchup, we have AmazingToaster as the 8 seed against fon2d2, the 19 seed. So, seeds are what they are, but we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah. So we've seen P3 or P6. We don't know which one. fon2d2 and AmazingToaster were dancing with the red iron knuckle from the statue, and were rewarded after quite a bit of sword strikes with just 50 GP. But Schmidtty's found Saria here, and so is Cowness. They're pretty much neck and neck. It's funny.
It gives them life too, so I think time well spent.
Well, if they get life from it, sure.
Well, not the spell life, but they did get a upgrade of life 2, it looks like, as both fon2d2 and AmazingToaster are sitting on life level 2, whereas TheCowness and Schmidtty, who are in a race against themselves, are both on 111 still.
So we got some hint digging, and the bot had to say that the cross is going to be in the west. So they're going to be a little bit disappointed by an item they find in the overworld. It's possible that it's going to be hammer blocked, but they're probably going to find that before they go east. However, it's if you're going to get the cross, before the first time you go east is probably the right time to get it. They're getting the spell, which can be quite useful early on if it's castable. 69. So they can't cast it yet. They're 5 away. But it's a fun word. It's a fun number to say. So 69 magic.
True. But unfortunately, if they run across the correct town, which I'm going to defer to you on that one because I've still yet to do my homework on the towns, aside from remembering which one's Old Kasuto. There will be the spell area that opens up an item.
Oh, you mean New Kasuto?
Correct.
Yeah. So they're still away from that, and that could end up being hammer blocked. There's a 50-50 chance on that one. Oh, cool. We got a 200-point P-bag in this forest tile. That's a good find, considering most of the forest tiles are just forced encounters.
Well, fun fact, it looked like fon2d2 found a hint to head east for the flute.
Ah. Was that in a graveyard or something? Or
I believe it was in the town that AmazingToaster is in right now.
Oh, Rauru? Yeah. And a 500-point P-bag for Schmidtty. That's pretty nice. Spending it on magic levels. Okay, spending out life levels, not so sure, but hey, he's going to be at 223. Oh, the thing about Schmidtty is he plays the game pretty similar to me. He might be changing that because I know he's been practicing a lot lately. So normally I could say, oh, this is what I would do, and Schmidtty ends up doing it.
Ooh, this magic word will give you power. The power to turn into a fairy.
Which, fairies aren't that powerful, but, it's not all about, how much you can lift sometimes.
Well, the power to become very small and fit through a keyhole, that's pretty powerful in the right circumstances.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you think about it, let's say you had that power in real life and you ferried into, I don't know, Fort Knox or something, and then you were just stuck as a fairy because you hadn't crossed the screen yet. Fort Knox is just one screen.
That would be unfortunate if you, can't quite hit the screen transfer. But, I don't know how that would really work with the inventory. And speaking of the inventory, it looks like Schmidtty and AmazingToaster have both found the cross.
Oh yeah, so that'll be nice when they head east. So they can go. They can use a raft with a little bit more confidence. But they certainly would have wanted.
Correcting me that it was the graveyard tile that had the old lady giving the hint about the flute.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. AmazingToaster heading into his heart container cave. I believe TheCowness has already gone through this one. Probably Schmidtty as well. So this will be a nice reminder of what he picked up there, assuming he survives, which hopefully he will. He's got a decent rhythm. It's just very hard to predict when the red diver is going to be throwing axes in the dark. Oh no, he was so close.
Well, it looks like fon2d2 followed in his footsteps by taking that same death, so there's a little bit of parity here between AmazingToaster and fon2d2 with where they're at.
And another one like that, and AmazingToaster is going to be at the Northern Palace.
Yeah, it looks like AmazingToaster's just said, alright, no thanks, I'm going to use Fairy, get myself through this screen.
Oh, he actually took a little bit of a risk there, staying at that same elevation. Okay, so that's where the P-Bag was. He's going to hopefully save it up for attack and then maybe get magic level or another life level. I figure at this point you up an A. Yeah. Looks like fon2d2 is going to try to walk out. If he has attack 3 and full life, I could probably kill that red Dara.
Ooh, the TheCowness is
or just walk past him.
Fell down into a graveyard, and looks like Schmidtty Games has, excuse me, found a way to unlock the third direction of Link's 4-directional fighting abilities here.
Yep. And that is going to help out immensely, pretty much everywhere and every way possible, because it's the Ginsu knife or whatever of Zelda 2. You need it. You need it to, slice and dice and make julienne fries.
Oh, just, lifetime guarantee as well. You got to remember, it doesn't, the blade never goes.
Oh, yeah, that's totally true. TheCowness a little nervous right here. He just picked up a 100-point P-Bag, and okay, yeah, he wants to get that other P-Bag. Oh, it's just a 50. He was afraid he was going to get by the spider when he walked down if he saved up his experience like that, so he spent it on a life level. Not a bad purchase. I say if you don't go above life 4, your leveling is still pretty good. Alright, so
we saw that yesterday with that particular race, but
right.
It ended up kind of
similar.
Both runners in the same spot, level-wise. So
I think one of them had one more level, but that was it. Yeah, it can be more dramatic than that, depending on how you do it.
I mean, it didn't seem to impact that particular race,
no.
But maybe that is the, how do we say, the the aberration more so than, the normal circumstance. Looks like fon2d2's found another dungeon.
Yeah, like an oil-coated dungeon or something like that. It looks a little different on everyone else's screen, though. Yeah, so that's also 3 or 6. So both 3 and 6 are on the Western continent somewhere. Schmidtty's sprite is not new. He's been using that for a long time, Norinato. He made that, I don't know, like 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. That's a slight edit of Link that adds a bit of comedy, a bit of levity. Oh, and here's the magic key. Alright, so everyone's just getting what they need.
Yeah, so
Fairy not good enough for you? How about Fairy and magic key?
Yeah, it looks like fon2d2 and Schmidtty are both on their way to finding the any key, as well as TheCowness, who already has it. So this might put fon2d2 into a bit of an advantageous situation with AmazingToaster. Maybe not, though. It looks like AmazingToaster's on the right track.
Yeah, he's picking this up, too. So fon2d2's is doing pretty well so far against AmazingToaster. And Schmidtty's been doing a lot of practicing. I think he was, he's a little intimidated by some of the racers here. Of course, Schmidtty does have a lot of vanilla experience, but he's gotten into Randomizer in the last 6 months or so. Or I guess, well, whatever. Like, let's say 2 months before he made that custom sprite, whenever that was.
Well, one way or another, maybe it's just, all right, I'm in the losers bracket. I got to tighten up my game to really make a run in this tournament. Is that, looks like hammer time for TheCowness.
Yeah, and Schmidtty has that one too. So, I think the real difference maker is going to be what they do next. So Schmidtty's checking out the roadblock, and roadblock doesn't go anywhere, so it's not going to be very helpful. So, like, what are these guys doing next? They have Fairy. They don't have any other required spells. I'm not sure where they're going to go. I guess they got to find the raft. It could be, since they have all the door stuff that they need, it could actually be in Palace 3 and 6, even though they don't have the glove.
Well, we still have one more palace to find on the Western continent as well.
That's true.
That is something to consider. Maybe it's an easy one.
Or maybe it's like,
or it could be
from Death Mountain.
2 or 5 or, but if it's 1, perhaps...
that's easy.
Go for it. 2, you could potentially get glove blocked. Which
but at least they have Fairy to make that one, the lava room, much easier. Without Fairy or jump, it's one of the harder jumps to make in the game if you're going from right to left. So there's only one potential hurdle for these guys, and that's the glove block for P2. I would actually be cool with GP. Sorry, not GP. I'd be cool with P5.
Well, it looks like AmazingToaster's getting a little bold here and gonna dive a palace.
Yeah, that's probably the right call. It's P6, and he's wondering why P6, no. So he's gonna try P3 next.
Yeah, no thanks. Gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, P6. It's got the same number. No, it's got like half of a glove block more than P3 because there's a room you can drop into from one direction, and you can get stuck there if it just happens to be in that direction. But as far as full glove blocks, they both have the same number of full glove blocks. It's just P6 is a lot harder. It's got that extra like half glove block, and yeah. And it can loop like crazy with all the drops and everything.
Well, it looks like Schmidtty's turning north and gonna head into a palace, which no, debated? No, yeah, he's going for it. So looks like he's gonna get the bad news that this is Palace 6, my friend. Maybe not too interested in that one.
So these two guys are having very similar approaches so far. fon2d2 just checked out the medicine location hint, and it's going to be in east somewhere. So that's going to be in one of the two caves. It's going to be in the water spot. It's going to be in the desert tile. Oh, no. There's P1 on Amazing Toaster's side.
Yeah, Schmidtty and Amazing Toaster are in P1.
That's what you want to get right there.
I saw the similar color and kind of debated myself into, oh yeah, that's the same P6 we just saw from Amazing Toaster's side.
Yeah, it is a very similar color. Yeah, if only there was like oil traction and everyone slipped around here too, because it looks like all these bricks are coated in crude oil or something.
For those not in the know, between the two of us, I am definitely the comic relief of the pair. So I leave anything and all things related to actual knowledge of this game to Nightcrawler.
It could have been a contender.
Better or worse.
Probably for worse. Let's be real. Did you try to pick up a little experience here? Didn't quite work out. Gotta jackhammer that guy harder, buddy. Ride the Dyra. Oh yeah, that's not gonna go well once again. Yep. Well, if he takes the lesser bops before, oh, there we go. If he takes the bops from the weaker enemies, then he's not gonna be hit by the red Dyra, right?
Well, I mean, sometimes you can crowd surf like that, and it works out really well, and other times you just kind of get dumped on your head, like we saw for fon2d2 right there.
I think Schmidtty knows how difficult his opponent's going to be, and so he has decided to just burn the experience in a couple of ways so far. He had an attempt to kill a blue iron knuckle with a few more seconds of dedication, and he had the chance to walk back with the experience he'd earned, but he is dedicating all of it to time, and that's probably the wise decision here.
Well, it looks like Schmidtty has a good idea of where the item is. Seems like he's on the right track.
Arceus saying that Countess turned down attack in favor of life, and I agree that's a strange decision to make. Life is easy to come by, and if you take attack levels, then you're gaining experience faster, and you can set up better gem abuses. So I don't know why he would do that. They're not exactly that fragile at life 4 or 3.
Well, I mean, do you think it's just the pressure of the losers bracket, and you go, all right, I'm going to make slightly irrational decisions at this point? And it looks like Amazing Toaster following in Schmidty's footsteps, running to pick up the trophy that we saw on Schmidty's side.
Yeah, and that could be very useful, picking up that trophy right there. He's already in the West, so turning that in, I think they've come across Rudo, but I don't really remember what it was. They certainly didn't spend much time in it if they did. But yeah, having that pickup, that'll take a lot off their minds, because they'll either get a spell that they need, or they'll know that they don't have to dig quite as hard, or maybe they will have to dig hard. It's information to get early, and it's a convenient place to get that trophy. And I think Schmidty's heading straight to turn it in. Maybe.
Well, he didn't up an A. He's about 100 points away from... he refused life 5. So it looks like he might be trying to set up Magic 4 at this point?
That could be. Oh, no, it's going to attack.
Okay.
That's some good stuff, if you ask me. Now his attack is at twice the level that Countess is in, and if Countess picks up more magic and life levels, it's going to make it very difficult to increase his levels in a beneficial way. But again, I've been placing too much emphasis on this kind of thing just because it's something to talk about. At the end of the day, these guys are going to be able to finish the game. It doesn't really matter.
Well, if you can get, at what point do you think you kind of say, all right, I have enough levels one way or the other, no matter what, that I'm confident I can finish the game? Is it 5 across, or
Yeah, it's 5 across. I think pretty much that's the go-to answer. The levels vary in their effectiveness. So some people might, for one seed it might be, oh, okay, it's 4-4-5 is good, or 4-6-4 is good, or whatever. But yeah, generally speaking, 5 across is going to be your average of what you want before going into GP. Just kind of like the average completion time of a Z2R seed is like, in the 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes range.
All right, Knight, get on your best crisscross impersonation. Everybody jump, jump,
jump,
jump.
Everybody jump, jump. I'm sorry, did I disappoint you? I've never really been the musical type, But
that's all right. It's
Countess
fun.
Countess is kind of not on his A game today. He just checked a location that he'd already been to. It's just a few seconds of a loss there, maybe like 20-30 seconds, but you keep on having stuff like this, taking the wrong level, checking locations twice, and it'll give Schmidtty the chance to pull out in the lead.
Well, technically, you could say he is in the lead because he does have one palace under his belt, similarly to AmazingToaster.
Yeah.
fon2d2 at least is in Palace 1 at this point, looking to, equalize the number of palaces completed. So, I guess in some ways, a small lead, like I guess you could say AmazingToaster has over fon2d2 at this point, of maybe, 2 minutes or so. Not that big of a deal, but when you contrast it against Schmidtty Games, who, at least for placing the first gem, is ahead by 3-4 minutes at this point, do you start to get concerned of, okay, Countess is now just behind and has to start gambling, potentially more so than maybe they would want to.
Speaking of a gamble, Schmidtty is doing a little bit of a gamble here. He is in Death Mountain looking for the raft. Now, there's a good chance that it's in here, but I think at this point it's a 50-50 shot. There's Death Mountain, there's Hammer Cave and Spectral Rock, and opposing that, there is the P3 and P6 items. But the P3 and P6 items are going to be hard to get, and it's possible they're going to be glove blocked. So I'd say this is the right call to make. And here's Spectral Rock right here. Let's see what's in it. There's a raft.
Wow. Yeah, that pretty good play for Schmidtty. So I'm almost certain Schmidtty will be heading east at this point.
Yeah, and even though he was in a new location in Death Mountain where he possibly could have got to the Hammer Cave if he checked some more, it was probably statistically the right call to just up and out of there, because the chances that you're going to find the glove in there or a required spell item are fairly low. So saving that minute or so to check all those locations is probably the right call, even though in the long run it could come back to bite him in the butt. But I don't think anyone else is going to be looking for a Hammer Cave. So,
well, with all of the items that we have outstanding right now, we have all 4 heart containers, potentially, if they're in the item pool. 3 magic containers. The cross we already know. We've got the candle at large at this point. And the child.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and the boots, and we know where the flute is. Right.
Well, we know the flute is on the west. We've got it. Well, at least some of the runners have that hint.
Oh, it's on the west? Okay.
Or excuse me, the east. I'm sorry.
Speaking of east, here goes Schmidtty, and fon2d2 is exploring some weird place that AmazingToaster was exploring before. I'm assuming that Schmidtty and Countess already explored there too. I just didn't really see it on the northern edge of the continent. There's a quick 500-point P-bag. Going early does have its benefits. Going east early does have its benefits. Those 500-point P-bags are more and more useful the earlier you go. And here's a potential nice thing to get to. He does have jump, so he's going to be able to get whatever's up here. Nice. He's probably going to save it for... okay.
Ooh, gonna cash in for life 5, so...
A little conservative, but that's cool. I think he was wondering if he was going to be able to make it to 2,000 experience. I think that's pretty much a given. He could have made it there pretty easily. What's up, Mimi fan? And RCS, as far as the comment about being comically overleveled, that can happen, sure, but the P-bags don't seem that great in this particular seed. I think there's like a 100 and a 50 in the rounds. I don't think there's much else.
Well, so far, Schmidtty has found 2 P-bags and a 1-up doll on the eastern continent. Probably not what he would really be looking for, but now finding a town, so...
Oh, here we go. Only 5 containers needed for this item. And fon2d2, apparently this town was coated in sandpaper at some point, because that's kind of what it looks like to me. Oh my gosh, there's the medicine. Are you kidding? Okay, so now there's only one possible thing that can screw them up in terms of getting all the right spells, and that would be the child. Character spears with a 500-point P-bag. Good hit.
Reflect and Thunder are both gated behind the potential of those particular items.
Mm-hmm.
Since there are 3 more towns that Schmidtty could visit, they could just be, hey, here's fire, for example, on Schmidty's side of things. And it looks like he's going to test fire out. It looks like might be... No, he hasn't tested it yet.
I would say, as far as RCS and chat, the worst you could get would be like 558 or 568 or something like that. And yeah, that's... Like I was saying, most race... Oh god, he cast the wrong spell. He's got to go back and get... Oh, what a flub. He's got to go all the way back to the first section of the town, get his magic back. He's got a facepalm on that.
Oh no.
But at least he knows that fire is not spell.
Yeah, what did it end up being? Life?
I couldn't tell.
It wasn't
fairy, wasn't
spell. Yeah. Didn't seem to be jump either.
I would have been able to tell if it was shield, but I didn't check, so I appreciate it, Mimi fan. All right, what's in the town? The glove. Okay, well.
All right, so let's tick another one off of the list of
Oh, he's going back. Interesting. He's gonna go. Okay, he's up and Ang, so he can turn in the medicine, see what that is, and finish P3 and P6.
Gonna have a go at P3 was what I was gonna assume.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do both of them. Sorry, we've been concentrating a lot on Schmidtty. It's just he's in the lead right now. I would say fairly comfortably. Countess is in P6, so he has an exploration advantage here, but Schmidtty is in P3 right now.
Well, that could also kind of bite the Countess as well. It could work out in his favor, but we'll see. It looks like Countess going to have a go with one of the Rebanak mini-bosses, while AmazingToaster and fon2d2 are both still in the exploration phase.
Wait. What is with the elevation of that horse? Why is it so high up? I have to. Did he like jump at the moment that Rebanak spawned, and it caused Rebanak to spawn higher above the ground? That is fascinating. RCS, get on it, man. I need you to figure that out for me.
Well, it looks like fon2d2 found something. He was in a drop-down, which may have been the raft, because he was in Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if fon2d2 is making a complete beeline toward the raft spot to head east.
Looks like it, and it looks like he's heading in the wrong direction to the raft spot. I think he didn't keep in mind.
And said, nope, up A, gotta go.
Yeah.
Let me do it the right way this time.
All right, well, here's the... just take the death, buddy. Okay, he's not going to. He has enough magic for a fairy. All right, yeah, so this is the easier version of the... Oh, no, Countess! He messed it up, but it's jumpless, too. Jumpless is hard. No wonder he messed it up. What, Countess?
Countess forgot that the jump button is a thing there.
Yeah, and now he's not going to be doing jackhammer strats because he can't risk it at this point. Schmidtty is definitely going to try it, though, so...
Well, Schmidtty is in P3, while the Countess is up against Barba in P6.
And I'm not really sure why Countess did it jumpless. He had enough magic for jump, and he had jump, so...
Maybe saving for something else? I guess, we will see.
Well, I mean, he died on that life, so I guess we'll just have to have the mystery.
Well, we do get the opportunity to interview, hopefully, so write that one down, Knight. We're going to have to ask about that one.
Write what down? Sorry?
Yeah,
I've already forgotten what it was. That was your first ZSR? Zelda 2 Randomizer with us on comms? Yeah, magic happens from time to time. I think it's just because Frico's voice is just pretty awesome. Like, I mean, it's no, like...
replicate it, but, you can never get that, once it's fresh out of the box, the new car smell kind of just dies off a little bit, and then it's just like...
Yeah, like, why did I even come here, right?
But, it's like, alright, yeah, these two again. Oh, Countess having a little bit of an issue trying to jump and get that little clip, but...
oh, wait. He did kill Barba, right?
Correct.
He's just going back to the Atom? Okay.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. But I think at this point, it's almost certainly to be either a heart or magic container at this point, or some other relative junk, like a candle, pea bag, one-up doll, some other undesirable, as it were. We'll see.
It could be... What could it be? I mean, they have boots, right? They know where the flute is. It could be Child. That would be... Oh, Countess. Oh, he needed the magic. Okay,
no magic to cast fairy that time.
Kid was in Hammer Cave? Oh, okay, cool. It looks like fon2d2 is getting it, too. Unless my... no, never mind. He's in a different cave. AmazingToaster got it. Cool. So that actually could be a big thing for AmazingToaster. If AmazingToaster needs some kind of advantage, if that leads to Reflect or Thunder, then that certainly would be an advantage in his race against fon2d2. But that's the only real... Yeah, so, I mean, P6 is going to have a junk item. That's just assured. We know where the flute is. We got pretty much everything else. I mean, it could be a magic container, but you don't need that to get the NK item. So, It's gonna be
I
junk.
mean, it could be a heart container, and I think that's kind of like, the best of the rest out of all of the items.
Nah, more magic containers are always gonna trump your heart containers, I think.
Well, yeah, I guess, casting thunder is a thing. So if it has some exorbitantly high cost, we could see the potential for having to track down those magic containers just to cast thunder.
Right. Yeah, and thunder can be super useful. Like, you're wandering through a bad screen, thunder, and here's 500 experience. RCS saying that I have a voice that makes me sound handsome. I hate my voice. Like, when I listen back to it, I absolutely despise it.
I am exactly the same way. I can't listen to myself. I just can't do it. I'm just like, ugh. But, I guess I listen to it so often that it's just like, ugh, please, no, I don't want to hear myself. Cover my ears.
It's one of those things. People, like, you can't tickle yourself. Like, that's just a thing. Most people can't really smell themselves until it gets really bad. And I guess people always hate their own voice. I guess those are like the two... Oh, good job, Schmidtty. Was that jumpless? What a hero, man. Look at that shit. Oh, no, it wasn't jumpless.
No,
but still,
he's definitely using jump.
So he's gone from the jackhammer strats to normal jump strats. So this will probably save him one cycle. Although Barba appearing on the left is not helping him, because that's one of the more difficult ones to deal with. So most people gamble it's going to be on the right or the middle.
Oh, shit. Just getting the worst luck. 4 out of 5 on the left side, and this should do it. One way or the other. There we go.
That was like 5 hits per bar, too, at attack 4. That was no joke. It was a good fight. I think in terms of improving it, what I've been working on recently is transitioning to the left from the right, because you end up in situations like that where he just keeps spawning on the left and you get like 2 or 3 hits per cycle, and you don't want that. You can be a little bit braver and get 4 or 5 hits even after you move there. It's just not easy.
Now, one thing to consider, Schmidtty just said, nope, gotta go, bye.
Yeah.
Whereas TheCowness has now found, after all of that time, a magic jar.
Which, like we were saying, that's the best. I think that's the best possible thing you can get. You were thinking probably second best, but we knew it wasn't going to be anything important, so.
Yeah, that, just gives Schmidtty, that much more of an advantage from having the extra information and items, I believe, over Cowness at this point. So, it's a thing, and it looks like, the lid's starting to boil over for Cowness, making these small little mistakes that are just, going to start, chipping away at time. fon2d2 and AmazingToaster both in Maze Island. One of the items, a heart container, as we see on AmazingToaster's side. I did not see the palace. And it looks like both items are a heart container.
AmazingToaster's going to be losing time here. He does not have the boots, does he? Where were the boots again? Or did they get... They got the boots in, like, New Kasuto, right? Like, why is Schmidtty avoiding going on the water?
I do not know, but,
Okay, well, I could be totally wrong.
Have them?
Yeah, maybe I was wrong and, like, getting my memories confused.
Has them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there were 2 items. Okay, it was medicine and glove. Yeah, okay. Well, the boots were... I thought we've seen the boots. Someone has the boots. But because the lack of boots are kind of made Amazing Toaster's journey through Maze Island a little bit less awesome for him.
It looks like nobody has the boots.
So we're just on
let's see.
cocaine
The
again.
glove was what I debated myself with. I believe only Schmidtty has the glove.
Oh, look at this huge ass road. That's the thickest road I've seen in a long time. Like, I've seen roads that are thick, but they narrow down again. Here, not so much. Schmidtty. Oh yeah, he's still got to find the flute. It could be here.
So basically, it's the flute and the boots that are
Outstanding.
item-wise. Well, I guess for some runners, the child as well. But yeah, it's really not. Oh, excuse me. Anything I think.
Yeah, the kid could be a thing for most of the racers.
Well, if the child's gating thunder or reflect, then it's definitely a thing.
It's just the chances so
I
slim.
believe, are still outstanding, as are a good number of the spells for all of our runners, to be honest.
Schmidtty having trouble with his Lizalfos. He's got to know how to fight them, right?
Well, he's having trouble, but he's not really taking damage, so...
I mean, he has to know the, basically 100% hit rate to fight them. But, it's done. I'm just wondering how much time Schmidt's going to look for the items in Maze Island, because he doesn't really need them. And, I mean, yeah, he's in the lead, but you can never have too much of a lead.
Well, knowing that there's 2 heart containers in Maze Island, I believe he's found one of them already.
God, there's 2?
Yeah. So Maze Island itself is not going to be all that great in the way of items, but Schmidtty will have all 8 blocks if he's not found.
Okay, so
let's see. Palace 5 for Schmidtty Games, I'm assuming here.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this spending time in Maze Island when you have everything you need.
Well, he doesn't.
Well, but he does. Like, I mean, he doesn't have the boots. They could be required, but they're probably not, and they're probably not here. I mean...
It's the boots and the flute, I think.
But the flute's not going to be here. We know it's not in Maze Island.
Well, yeah, I guess since it said it's on the west, but Schmidtty may not know that.
I think he got the hint.
It's possible he didn't. But, looking at 4 runners, keeping track of every little thing they've done, it's not just a one-on-one race.
Yeah, for sure.
But right now, it's the flute, the child, and Schmidtty, I can only assume, is looking for, the boots, and there's the second item.
Oh, yeah,
so...
and possibly the child, but I just feel like that was like 3 minutes of searching right there. And now he's searching for a third item location.
I think he's searching for the exit, but, or some way to weasel out some points. I'm kind of surprised he's not just up and A-ing here, but I guess he just wants to get out of Maze Island, perhaps?
Oh, he did a cute little clip. Maybe? That's cool. Okay, yeah, so he passed through an encounter to put himself onto the mountain so that he could walk left and get closer to the palace. That is cute. I like that.
All right, so I am going to call hacks. But,
it's hacks, but who cares?
AmazingToaster found his way to the end of Palace 5 and is fighting Guma. I believe fon2d2 has bailed out of Maze Island. Schmidtty Games is into Palace 5 now.
And Lightning saying that,
AmazingToaster.
Yeah, Lightning mentioning that he saw the flute in fon2d2's inventory. I'm not sure if fon2d2 or AmazingToaster is in the lead.
I believe that was the any key.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it, but I wasn't looking. Meanwhile, Countess, with his Dragon Quest IV female hero sprite, is making his way through the east and getting up on the thick road up here.
I guess we'll see when fon2d2 opens up his inventory to go for a spell, but I thought it was the any key, but getting that one little quick glimpse to take a look at it, it doesn't make it easy, so I may just not be looking in the right spot.
Schmidtty, that was a beautiful fight from Schmidtty against Bosco. That's basically textbook aggressive strats. I think that's about as aggressive as you can get before you start doing the jackhammer strats, which are very difficult.
The AmazingToaster has finally finished off Boss Guma. Schmidtty getting in and getting out before AmazingToaster was able to finish a fight that he started before Schmidtty even went into the palace.
Yeah, Schmidtty finished that real quick. The higher attack level helps, and the more aggressive strats helps. Although, if I was on my last hit against Boss Guma, I would probably go to safe strats too.
At the end of the day, I think Schmidtty
there's the flute.
Opened up a big-time lead at this point. Only Palace 2 and 4 remaining for Schmidtty. It looks like Countess still needs to finish 5 and 3 just to catch back up. On the other side, with the race between fon2d2 and AmazingToaster, AmazingToaster, as we just saw, finishing off Guma, giving him the advantage of Palace 5, but fon2d2 up against Helmet Head, so 2 palaces apiece for our race on the right side, but a clear advantage for Schmidtty on our left side race against Countess.
Right. Oh, look at that, little pipsqueak Valley of Death that we have over there on fon2d2's side. That's pretty fun. And it looks like Countess is looking for the hint in Old Kasuto. Is he doing this for the memes, or is he really looking for... I think it's in here.
Old Kasuto needs a little bit of a renovation there.
Oh yeah, it sure does.
Okay.
Well, it's not often where you see people checking for the hints in there, but it's cool to see. Alright, so it looks like Schmidtty is heading to P2. Countess is trying to get the heck out of this Old Kasuto. It was a big time investment. I don't know what he was expecting. Does he not have the glove yet or something? No, he doesn't. He hasn't checked Death Mountain.
fon2d2 has picked up a spell.
Good fairy feat for Countess.
Use this magic to survive. That's not reflect.
And Schmidtty and Countess using completely different strats to get through. Schmidtty is using a strat that's gone into favor in the last couple of weeks, which is stabbing a certain number of times before you exit the lava encounter, the forced lava encounter. It forces the enemies to jump you as soon as you leave. Does something with the scripting of the enemies, and so it helps you get encounter skips. Countess was using the fairy feet trick, which is faster, and he did pull it off quite successfully. Schmidtty at this point looks like he's just going for it. He doesn't care about more attack levels at this point.
Well, I think we've already hit that threshold for Schmidtty that he's just going, all right, even right now I'm at life 6, magic 6, attack 5.
Yeah.
I'm good to go. So why bother with, getting the extra level ups? Don't really need them.
fon2d2 fighting those bees in the swamp. Those bees are like my least favorite enemy in the game. I don't know what he was really looking for. Oh, he's trying to get a couple more experience, and those bees do have usually a pretty good amount. Not so much with these boas, but if he had eliminated that last one, he would have been able to kill the Lizalfos without much interference, and that would have gotten him his experience. But you don't really need to grind for experience if you're still looking around.
Well, perhaps he's considering an up and A in the very near future?
Yeah, that would be it. But it looks like he's traveled a long way without doing that, so I guess maybe
burning off what could be, 2,000 experience, I guess, with his levels where they are, both runners on the right side are at attack 4, magic and life 5. Maybe it's just a matter of, getting that level, be it life, magic, or attack at this point. I'm not entirely sure which one it would be. But,
yeah, but I'm just saying that if he's still exploring, there's no need to grind out the small enemies. Just find a nice big enemy and kill it. On your way. You don't have to stop and do stuff. There's a GP.
And I think he wanted to stop into the palace and
up an A.
Whack a golem to get the experience, and just nope, found Great Palace instead. Sorry. Yeah,
quite probably. Searching for Nukasudo still. Either that was just a reflex, or he hasn't found Nukasudo. I think it was pretty close to the start, so that's a little surprising. Meanwhile, TheCowness is going through that lava room I mentioned earlier. That's very difficult without spells. It's one of the more difficult. Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Let's see. He had Fairy. I don't think he had enough magic to cast it, though.
No, or he would have done it right away like he does this time around.
Yeah. In RCSI, we'll talk about any and every strat as soon as it becomes somewhat relevant. Oh, the candle. He's not even going to take it. Not even going to spend the extra 1 second to pick it up. Hope that doesn't cost him more than 1 second later on.
Well, we'll see. But, so far, Schmidtty does not have the flute. It looks like all the rest of the runners do.
No, he's got it. I saw him pick it up. Unless he gave it back.
Sure about that?
Maybe he got mugged by a Guria. Guria of Tantari stole my flute. You know how it goes.
Well, it looks like Toaster's picked it up. Schmidty's picked it up with the candle, so we'll see. But I guess it's just a matter of getting from point A to point B for our runners. Schmidty, as we say,
P2.
Pretty far ahead of the TheCowness at this point. Still 2 dungeons ahead at this point, 4-2. Whereas AmazingToaster and fon2d2 both on 2 dungeons and working on their 3rd.
Right, and it's interesting that TheCowness, Schmidtty, and AmazingToaster are all working on Palace 2 right now, and fon2d2 did that, 5 minutes ago. I think fon2d2 might actually be in the lead between him and AmazingToaster.
Well, with how easy it looked to go from start to Guma in Palace 5 for AmazingToaster, I want to agree with you.
Yeah.
Because it should be pretty clear to fon2d2 by the time he goes to Palace 5 at this point that he's just going, alright, I don't need to go looking for an item. I'm out. I'm done. fon2d2 picking up the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
As AmazingToaster and it looks like TheCowness both finishing off Helmet Head.
I want to pay attention to one of these guys' pause menus at some point soon. There. Oh, look at that. Nice. Got a little turtle head for that helmet head. 3 hits at attack 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just noticed that Schmidtty was starting the helmet head fight, and then it was just imploding on itself. Oh, he's done.
Yeah, having sword levels helps. Oh, he's gonna go for the fairy feet this time. And another attack level. That was some good leveling. So he's got 666 now. Nothing to see here. Don't worry about that number.
Well, it looks like Schmidtty made his way out of the Valley of Death, so we'll see what he's got in store next. TheCowness falling down.
Gonna get his heart containers. He's refusing to pick up the heart. I know hearts aren't the best, but I would pick it up.
When he's still on 4 like that seems bold.
It's bold, and I think it's going to cost him in GP.
And I'm kind of sugarcoating it because, well, I have to by calling it bold. It's
yeah. I mean, look, it's not the best item to find, but it will help you. It'll save lives in GP.
I mean, I'm okay with, alright, candle, nope, and just,
Yeah, and also, candle, to me, makes the game a little bit less fun. I'll still pick up the candle, but... okay. No, it is a funny, nice challenge, but it's going to cost... It could cost him this race, because he is not in the lead. He might expect to be in the lead, but he's not.
Well, unfortunately for TheCowness, I would almost say that he's just about getting blown out at this point by Schmidtty.
Yeah.
With, the perceived time advantage that I think he has. fon2d2, I think is probably ahead of AmazingToaster, but not really.
Oh, wasn't Iburu here this whole time, and Schmidtty missed it? That's hilarious. Or maybe he's just going in for a refill. No, probably not, because there's a refill in the other place too.
I believe fon2d2 might be into Palace 5. I believe that is the correct structure for Palace 5. The color scheme seems to be...
There's the thunder. We just need to reflect, and it is confirmed locked by the child. So Schmidt's gonna have to find that Darunia, and he's gonna have to go get the hint and see where that is. Because I mean, he could hope that he stumbles across a child, but I think going for Darunia is probably the better bet. I don't know if he's seen it though. It might be in some weird valley with a passer cave.
Well, if Cowness has an advantage of any kind right now, it is that he has the child ready.
Oh, there we go.
As does AmazingToaster compared to fon2d2. AmazingToaster has the child and the glove now, finally, so equalizing in that regard.
Well, the lack of hearts just took its toll. I'm sorry to say. He was doing it for the lulz, I get it. But if he had those 2 hearts that he found and just noped out on, he would not have died. And that would have saved him quite a bit of time.
Yeah. I think it's a little unfortunate for TheCowness at this point, but what can you say at this point? But
Gem for fon2.
So at this point, fon2d2 starting to mount a little bit of a comeback here. 3 palaces each on fon2d2 and AmazingToaster's side. But
Schmidtty going for the lulz, going for this clip, could potentially have saved him like half a second as opposed to using Fairy, and now it's costing him. Okay, he gets it finally. Okay.
Well, it is what it is at this point. Schmidtty probably doesn't know that he's ahead. He shouldn't know that he's ahead of TheCowness, but he should know where he is.
I guess part of going for that clip, for instance, is a little bit of practice. I just don't think that. So if he came to this town in a later race and he didn't have Fairy, getting that clip would save not half a second. It would save. Yeah, Death Mountain holds a child. Schmidty's kicking himself because he checked Death Mountain and did not go into Hammer Cave. He skipped out on it. Anyway, yeah, that particular jump clip doesn't usually save much time over the Fairy method, like half a second or so. But if there was another race in the future, then if he was comfortable using that clip, it could save him money. I mean, money?
Well,
what?
Sometimes time is money, so I can see where you're going with this, but
yeah. This is just what happens sometimes. Oh, and hey, Buzz and Zarnax.
But at the end of the day, it looks like Cowness potentially. Do we dare say on the comeback trail now that Schmidtty has finally found what he needs to do next and is going to spend some time in Death Mountain, retracing his steps back to where he was. And unfortunately, half an hour ago we say, hey, this could kind of bite him in the butt, and, well, it did.
Yeah, it did. The chance of it happening were so rare. I think we went over these possibilities. We were like, well, if it bites him in the butt, what could it possibly be? It could be, it was right there. It was right by Spectral Rock. He stops in disbelief, and yeah, we talked about this exact scenario. It's a shame, but he's thinking this is costing him huge. He's going to play really serious from now on. He's not going to go for those clips that can cost him time, stuff like that.
So Schmidty's probably in try-hard mode at this point?
Yeah, he doesn't know that it doesn't have to be right now, but it's good that he's entering that mode. This is where your brain clicks over.
Well, for both of our runners, I should say both matches and the runners are kind of in that, all right, I lose and I'm done mentality. So, between TheCowness and Schmidtty games, the loser is done, the winner moves on in the bracket, and again, for fon2d2 and AmazingToaster, the same applies. And we find a Palace 4 on some nice beachfront property out in the middle of nowhere on AmazingToaster's side. He has a child.
In that peninsula, yeah. That was a really cool thing. So it looks like boots are not required anywhere in this race, because this is... that's the last palace we haven't seen completed yet, right? We've seen 6, 5.
Nobody has
3.
Reflect at this point, so
yeah,
nobody can really go into Palace 4 and expect to finish it. Cowness picking up the item in P4, which was a medicine jar. Not really sure. Well, I guess he's looking for the child as well.
Yeah, TheCowness is nailing these fairy feet, and I think he's cheering or infuriated.
Probably ranting, because we can see his face cam, and he's kind of
blowing a gasket a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's more of the I want to throw my controller against the wall if I wasn't using it for this race right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be cheering that I nailed that fairy feat that much, but I think that Cowness has no difficulty doing fairy feat. Yeah, we've seen him nail it time and time again in this. And for those who are new viewers, what fairy feat is in a forced encounter on the overworld where you're supposed to go from left to right or right to left, where it starts you on one side or the other. If you use fairy, which has instant acceleration, and you just barely clip past the boundaries where it makes your sprite disappear, it puts you past the screen transition boundary, and then the game determines what side of the forced encounter it'll put you on based on what direction you're holding on your D-pad when you're outside of the screen boundary. It's not like, oh, he's on the left of the screen and he's moving left. It's more like he's not in the boundary and he's moving left. It's probably one less variable for them to track. Oh, Cowness. It's one less variable for them to track in the game, so it is easier coding, probably less memory, less processing power, but it lets you do fairy feat. There you go.
Yeah, Schmidtty has reflect, so at this point, it's just a matter of finding a nice beachfront property for, his retirement, perhaps. Not from this tournament, but definitely from this seed. He already knows where Great Palace is.
We got a really cool I-5 in AmazingToaster and fon2d2 side. They're both fighting the same mini-boss in P6.
Now, we saw one that was really high, and now that one looked like it was stuck in the ground for AmazingToaster.
Yeah, I think that's... Oh, I didn't see that. I gotta... Yeah, that's kind of weird. Maybe he was ducking or something. Maybe there's some sort of manipulation you can do.
But, we'll see soon enough with... I guess you're going to have your crack team of analysts on... trying to figure out this great mystery well,
you know
the next
what?
few days.
These kind of things, when you investigate them, they can lead to either huge, game-breaking things that you can do, or lulls, and both of those are worth it.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Just like, pressing left and right at the same time can do some funny stuff. There's funny stuff you can do when you spawn enemies in the ground, probably. Or in the air. Upstabbing Rebanak, that'd be the lulz.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Could you imagine if you...
Close fight. AmazingToaster was in a little bit earlier, but it looks like fon2d2 about to finish off this Barba fight. Gonna get a little bit of an advantage here over AmazingToaster, who has taken a little bit of a pit stop, menued into a couple spells.
Yeah, so fon2d2 pulling ahead here by a couple of seconds.
So as much as I don't want to say TheCowness is really out of it, but Schmidtty is so far ahead at this point, from my perspective, that I think it's really Schmidty's game to lose at this point. fon2d2 against AmazingToaster is turning out to be a real close battle.
Yeah, so Lightning, what we were talking about, at least I didn't see the buried in the floor thing, but when it was higher up, it was moving around higher up too. It wasn't just when it was going off.
Yeah, when fon2d2 was in Palace 6, there was a Rebanak that was floating probably half a sprite block above where it should be. And then on AmazingToaster's side, that same, well, I guess not the same Rebenak, but the Rebenak that AmazingToaster fought was buried that half a tile into the ground, and I'm kind of, is that thing just like stuck in the corner in the ground while I was watching it? And, it did charge back across, but, do these runs enough and you just sort of see these oddball things.
Yeah. Like, on a few of these racers, I've seen graphical glitches where, like, sand appears, like, in the rock face. Alright, so TheCowness picks up his thunder, too.
Yeah, so TheCowness, not turning in for Reflect yet? Does he have Reflect at this point? I know he used the spell.
Oh, sorry. I think TheCowness just picked it up. My mistake. I probably used the wrong person name now. But yeah, he just picked it up, I think. Oh, wait.
Okay. Well, I blame it all on there being 4 runners on the screen, and my head is spinning trying to keep up with them all. So, again, buyer beware, especially when I'm involved in commentary.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thunder was Nukasudo.
Fiesta and just go for it.
Yeah, Thunder was Nukasudo, and TheCowness just got that, and then I think, so Darunia was Reflect, and Schmidtty has that, and I'm assuming TheCowness has that or will be getting it soon. Yeah, Fire was Nukasudo. Yeah. Alright, so go for it.
AmazingToaster finding his way into the Palace 3 boss, so might be getting a little bit of a lead back on fon2d2 here. Schmidtty making his way through Palace 4. TheCowness looking to perhaps unlock all 4 directions of his fighting style.
Looks like it, and he's doing the safer quick strat, which is the fairy strats. So that's getting a little bit of time back from Schmidtty. It's not probably going to be nearly enough. And Schmidty's just going to be dropping to the bottom and going right to get to Karak. Works out most of the time.
Well, let's see if, I believe TheCowness already has the child, so he should be able to turn this in as well.
Yeah, he does. You were saying he was the first person to get the child, right?
I believe so. But he also, to my knowledge, has not turned it in yet, but I think he's going to fix that.
Yeah.
Right now.
Rectified.
So that will give TheCowness Reflect. So now TheCowness has Thunder and Reflect, and is, at least from a spell standpoint, on equal footing with Schmidtty Games. However, Schmidtty has found his way to Karak at this point. So...
Alright, so fon2d2 is passing through the tip of Thick Road, and there was a spider there, and he squashed it and went past. I don't know. Just something entertaining about that. Gosh. Schmidtty is playing around with Karak.
Alright, so Schmidtty has now defeated all 6 palaces. So It looks like it's time to see exactly where he is with when he ends up into the Great Palace compared to TheCowness, who should be a very significant point behind Schmidtty.
Yeah, and TheCowness did just pick up his boots, so if he uses those, he can get a little bit of time back. But clearly, Schmidty's just about to enter GP, and TheCowness isn't, so boots aren't really going to be a concern for Schmidty anymore.
No, unfortunately, with Palace 3 and 4 still in the way for TheCowness at this point, and Countess is going, all right, well, I've got to do Palace 3, so let's get that done. Hopefully this will go quickly. He won't need to search for an item of any kind.
Alright, we got ourselves a nice bloody GP color.
Well, using the timer as a reference, let's say 1 hour 14 minutes for Schmidtty Games to go into Great Palace, so we can see, if it comes to it, how much of an advantage he has over the Countess as to when the Countess makes it into GP.
Alright, Schmidtty doing an excellent job in this first room. When there's this much slowdown, it's very hard to time your stuff effectively, especially since the slowdown starts and ends at unpredictable times, or at least times you kind of have to feel out. Yeah, that jump spell, that's why it's so useful in GP. You can skip past these chicken and waffle rooms very effectively. Ooh, Countess doing some nice aggressive strats in this lava room. That's cool.
Oh, let's see. We have Thunderbird required, correct? So Schmidtty is definitely going to require a Thunderbird battle. Not that I believe it to be all that difficult. I'm trying to reach for any, glimmer of hope that the Countess might still be able to have, that he could make a comeback in this race.
Good Rubenak fight so far from Countess. Didn't quite get the corner strats, though, unfortunately. Meanwhile, Schmidtty is in the zone in GP. He's been avoiding enemies very effectively so far, only taking about 2.5 now hearts of damage in all these rooms he's covered. And he's not even going to play around in this waffle room. He's just going to cast jump right away. That's probably smart. Worked out last time.
Well, it's not necessarily a chicken and waffle room, but
Right.
Definitely a waffle room.
Yeah, so jump might not have been necessary this time, but doing it on reflex isn't going to cost you that much. And Countess with his... I'm not sure he's got attack 4 still, That's what happens when you invest in life too early.
Well, let it be known for future races that that investment may be, investments do have a potential for loss, and
Yeah.
unfortunately for the Countess, it looks like that might be where he's at right now. But
Oh, you know what else? So you got this Thunderbird on Schmidt's side. There were a lot of lefts and a lot of turns before this. So that means that there's probably not much past Thunderbird. Probably just like 5 or less rooms, or 5 or fewer. AmazingToaster picking up his boots. That can help in his race against fon2d2. Boots could actually be a difference maker.
well, this is very close between fon2d2 and AmazingToaster at this point.
Yeah.
Just to recount, AmazingToaster does have a lead in that, well, he does have one palace left to go, and that's Palace 4, whereas fon2d2 does need to finish this palace off and then find his way into Palace 4, but I think fon2d2 might have a problem.
Schmidtty might have a problem too. He's taken the drop. I don't know if I agree with this. There was another way he could have gone. But this is a drop room heading right. Maybe. Not yet.
At least we can say, alright, Schmidtty did get the Thunderbird out of the way, so... Checkpoint Charlie isn't so much a thing anymore for him.
Yeah, but the thing is, this drop could have put him anywhere in the palace. Getting back to Thunderbird could be a matter of up and A-ing. He might be so lost at this point. Or he could just, come across Dark Link right away. We'll have to see which it is. I'm getting the heads up from our reporter Lightning that fon2d2 does not have the child, and he was in P4. So
that is correct.
So that's no bueno.
That was why I was saying fon2d2 had a little bit of a problem. He does not have the child, therefore we know he cannot have Reflect. So this might well, unfortunately for fon2d2, kind of sink the battleship, as it were.
Yeah, and I think Schmidtty Games' drop after Thunderbird might have been a mistake. We'll find out right here. If it's not Dark Link... Okay, it's Dark Link. Okay.
Oh, come on, Chicken Little. The sky isn't falling all the time.
Well, I was going to say, if it's not Dark Link, it probably looped him in somewhere weird in the rest of Palace.
Yeah, which would mean an almost certain up and A at that point.
Exactly, but here we are with the magenta background. You know what magenta backgrounds mean.
I know, that looked red to me, and now it's black, so I know nothing.
Yeah, I can agree. Alright, guys and gals, get your GGs in chat. Schmidtty Games is finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and what was that, 59 seconds?
Yes, 1:19:59 for Schmidtty Games. First place out of all four runners, but more importantly, first place in his match against TheCowness. So, unfortunately for TheCowness, that will mean that he is eliminated from the tournament. And Schmidtty Games, with this victory, will move on in the losers bracket to face the winner of the Alan Heffley and Riku player.
I hear Schmidty's coming in. He just needs a few minutes to regroup himself.
Yeah,
or change his pants or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. There looked like a couple try-hard moments there for Schmidty, so, you know. It could be anything, but the Countess still plugging on, gonna, you know, kind of just sit in the corner and go, all right, Karok, do your thing. But fon2d2, oh boy, this is a problem.
Yeah, so I think AmazingToaster's taking the lead back. If fon2d2 ever had it, he doesn't have it anymore. How's it going, Schmidty? Congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
So, how about that child?
Yeah, how about that child?
It's funny because when I saw you, you know, in Death Mountain, and you know, you got the glove or whatever it was, no, the raft, and you were noping out of there. I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. He has all these extra things, you know, that he can check, but even with that, the chances that it's something required are so slim. It could be a magic item or, you know, a glove or whatever, but yeah, the chances are pretty slim. And it turns out it happens to be exactly one of those items.
Yeah,
I learned nothing from the run last night where, you know, the high percentage play ended up being the wrong one.
Yeah. I don't learn.
Did I get super lucky on that run?
Well, yeah and no. I mean, there was a little bit of luck and a little bit of unluck too, right?
Oh, finding the cave to Darunia.
Oh, okay. Was Darunia pretty hard to find?
It was behind one cave in the north, and I realized the only way to get there was to find one cave. The first cave I go into to check led me to it.
Oh, that's good stuff. I actually missed that.
I really didn't think I was going to be able to defeat the Countess. The Countess is very good.
He is very good, but yeah, unfortunately, he didn't seem to be playing at his peak today. He made some kind of silly decisions, and I don't think it took him a while to go into Death Mountain. Of course, I mean most people don't like to go into Death Mountain, but he checked P3 No, he checked P6, noped out of there real quick, and then he checked P3 for the raft, and couldn't get it from there. And then later on, when he found the candle, he noped out of that. He didn't want to get the candle. Like, okay, that's funny. But then he noped out of getting the heart containers in Maze Island, and those would have been really useful in his fight against Boss Guma, because he took a couple of deaths.
And didn't we get 3 heart containers right in a row in that section?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 2 of them in Maze Island, and one more not too far away. I think it was one of the palaces that had the heart container as an item in it.
So you got sub 90. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I kind of blew that seed away a little bit.
Or sorry, sub 80.
Well, getting the starting items I had was really good for me. Fairy, of course. Magic Key, I didn't have to worry about palaces, so I was just free to roam.
Mm-hmm.
And the early experience, finding the early 500-point P-bag just sort of cut me loose. And that was... The troll was the kid, and...
Well, Countess isn't that far behind you. He's actually in GP right now. I have to say that that GP could have been really nasty.
Yeah, when I saw the second drop on my last lap, I was like, this is going to send me all the way back.
Yeah, I was saying that too. I was saying, if this is not Dark Link, then taking that drop after T-Bird was a mistake. Yep. And he's going to have to up an A. I mean, would you have up an A there, or would you have tried to find the old path somewhere?
It was two straight drops into dead end right hand only rooms. The drop in rooms for T-Bird and Vanilla. So there was no way back from there if that was a dead end.
Right.
It would have been a long way back.
Yeah. Well, doesn't the randomizer have to make a way back from every location?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Not in GP, because in GP you can always up an A to get back to the start, regardless of flag settings. So
that's true. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it though.
You probably have to ask Dig Shake for sure on that one.
Right.
Because I've never had that really be a problem where I couldn't just up an A and start over. Or in to where I didn't want to anyway.
Yeah, I guess that couldn't have led. Oh no! Ooh. I mean, that could have led back to before Thunderbird, couldn't it? That last drop.
Well, there was the Jackamus room somewhere. I remember.
fon2d2 seems to be struggling in Death Mountain right now. I believe he's not far away from the child he seeks, but not possibly picking the right cave. AmazingToaster into the Thunderbird fight, but might end up taking a death here, as unfortunately eating a fireball.
TheCowness too.
I got really lucky in Death Mountain too.
Oh, and you got your jackhammer on the first cycle of Barba. That was pretty nice. And your Guma fight was clean.
I don't really remember my Guma fight. I guess it was pretty
good. It went so fast. That it fits the narrative.
The zone there through the mid game once I saw my path to the end, and then of course the kid sort of interrupted that. Yeah,
I was gonna say, when you get in the zone, what can throw you off that is, I did something. I could have had it already. I could have, that self-doubt that you get can tend to throw you off your zone. But you seem to have it back. At least when you're in GP, you were going through those rooms very effectively.
I just wanted to get it done. I wasn't sure if I was winning or not, but apparently I was really winning. So
yeah, I think the big things were going into the Death Mountain pretty quick, and the the searching of P3 and P6 on Countess's side. I think those together cost, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes probably. And you were just pretty much on fire for most of the seed.
Well, the Countess going into GP was a little over 9 minutes behind. The race right now is actually between the Countess and AmazingToaster, as they are literally in the same room as each other after the Thunderbird fight.
Yeah, but AmazingToaster has all 8 heart containers. And
the Countess is struggling a little bit, still on 4 blocks of life, so making it a little more difficult for himself, as each hit he takes is doing a little bit of damage. But
that refusal for the heart containers has cost him 2 lives so far on GP.
Well, AmazingToaster just took a trip to the sauna as well. fon2d2 still stuck in Death Mountain trying to find the child, and it looked like he was previously where he needed to be, but just did not check the correct cave.
Yeah.
Where were the magic containers that I didn't get?
Nobody got over... Oh, sorry. Countess got 7, so you can ask him. Probably in the palaces, because I know he checked a lot of palaces.
AmazingToaster and fon2d2 are both on 6. And
I only found the one in...
now into the Dark Link fight, as is the Countess, maybe 10 seconds or so behind.
Okay, guys, I'm going to step out and let you finish up. I appreciate you. Thanks for putting on the show.
No, good job, Schmidtty.
Yeah, well done. Good luck in your next match going forward.
Oh, Countess is trying Mad Mode on his last life, but he has the life spell.
So, unfortunately for the Countess, no matter the result of this particular fight, not going to pan out for him, as Schmidtty already defeating him. AmazingToaster finishing in second out of the 4 runners, but first place in his particular match against fon2d2 with 1 hour, 30 minutes, 52 seconds.
Yeah, let's see. So I guess fire was linked with life, so that's a super cheap life spell. Maybe that's why Countess is deciding to do this. He's cast life like 6 times so far, so... Is that you, AmazingToaster?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, moving on back to the commentary for the race.
Oh, we gotta talk to AmazingToaster.
But he just said it wasn't AmazingToaster.
Yeah, that's true. If there's anyone we can believe is not AmazingToaster, it's AmazingToaster. You know what I mean? So, what do you think about that race, Mr. AT?
That was a stupid seed.
Uh-oh. Do enlighten us.
Just that one town that had reflects locked away behind, not the cave I thought it was.
Yeah. What was that, Darunia? We were hearing from Schmidtty.
Yeah. That because you needed reflect out of that town, and I'm glad I went to that cave up above it too, because boots were there, and that kind of shaved a little bit of time off of going through 4 and getting up to GP.
Yeah, that's true. It was on that little peninsula, and you could just walk across the coast on the left. So that's cool.
Yeah.
If you don't mind my interdiction, the Countess finished in 3rd place out of the 4-runner race, official time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So he should be joining us shortly.
Yeah, totally. Get your G's in chat for both these guys if you haven't already. Actually, for a short period of time, it seemed like fon2d2 might have had a slight lead on you, AmazingToaster, but you managed to pull it back. I think the big difference, the difference that was for sure was the fact that fon2d2 did not pick up the the child in
Death Mountain.
Death Mountain. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was in there, so I was gonna look and see if I could find the cave, and I just barely made it to that kid too.
Yeah, unfortunately for fon2d2, it was right below where Spectacle Rock was, a little to the right, and that was the cave he needed, and it looks like he's gone back into Death Mountain to look for it, and it seems to unfortunately have eluded him.
Did I not check that? It's right next to Spectacle Rock.
Yeah, it's right below and to the right of where Spectacle Rock was.
And
And
Yeah, it was in
we
the
are
same.
speaking to
It was in the same
fon2d2
segment
right
of
now
Death
in
Mountain.
the chat as well. So
yeah, I think one thing is that when I hit the raft early on, I up-A'd right away, and I don't think that I checked all the caves. And the other big mistake I made is that I just did a bad job of canvassing the east. So I came to the conclusion that, well, maybe Darunia's boots blocked, because I couldn't find it. And I started to dig items, and that's where I really lost time. And I decided to go to P4 to dig the item, even though I had the hint that that was a view there. And then I went to P6 to dig the item. And then I went back to the east, and I knew that I was like burning time by that point.
Yeah, you did actually have a lead on Amazing Toaster. Not a huge lead, but you did have a lead in the beginning of the race. So that was pretty cool. So it was nice to have that back and forth. You know, it's nice when it's a nice close race like that. And you'll be entertained to know that Schmidtty actually, he was the first one to go into Death Mountain. He got the raft, and he up and A'd out of there immediately and did not check the cave immediately below Spectacle Rock. So he had to double back later on.
Yeah, and here I am back in Death Mountain finally, and I'm like, I must have taken almost every single cave, because I have almost every single cave crossed off on my list. And I must just not have checked out one cave entrance.
Yeah, it's always the only item you can't find that turns out to be the one that ruins your day, huh?
Mm-hmm. And it's too bad that after I got the child hidden, I didn't go, because I knew that cave entrance was the remaining item cave because of like process of elimination. And I just, as soon as I got the child hidden, I up-A'd again right away, and that was just a factor of, I feel like I've lost too much time. I just need to go get the child.
So
Because I knew it wasn't a required item in that cave.
Well, unfortunately, the child was required because of the child getting off Reflect.
But the cave above Darunia, that's so.
Oh, yeah.
I said that's where the boots are, and as soon as I got the child in, I up-A'd.
Mhm.
Rather than check that cave, got the boots, and possibly made a faster Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. So TheCowness and Amazing Toaster, you guys also had a really good GP. Countess, we haven't heard much from you, so what was your take on the race so far?
Uh-oh, I think we might have lost him, but...
He's in the room, we just can't hear him.
Yeah, I think,
There, that fixed it. That looks like it fixed it.
Yeah,
there we
yeah,
go.
that fixed it.
Yeah.
Had the wrong mic selected. But yeah, I don't know. I just got bad randomizer luck, I think. I was playing really well. The only super sketchy decisions I made were skipping the candle and the heart containers, but that was just to protest the flags.
Yeah.
I got sent to losers right away, and I was really hoping I'd make it to the finals flags because I just hated the Swiss flags and the bracket flags. I did not want to play with random drops anymore. So I decided I was going to skip hearts and the candle in this seed if I ran into them.
random drops in this particular seed was pretty close to vanilla, wasn't it? There was
I
a
didn't
50 and
find
100
barely any random drops, but I wasn't killing very many enemies. But I think I saw like one P bag that I passed up, but I almost had nothing drop anything. It must have been like a slow counter or something.
I think so.
The drop.
I know I never saw a
were
magic.
like, yeah, the drop seemed very vanilla. I saw a lot of 50-point P bags, and then I saw 200-point P bags from the large drop group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the random drops, especially with the fact that it can add keys in there, and that really changes how you play the game. But it's certainly not for everyone. And everyone's got their favorite flag sets.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty good at combat, especially at low levels, and the 500-point bags take that away completely. It makes people who are not good at the early game on a more even playing field with me.
Yeah, that's true. Fortunately, this match didn't have that going, at least.
Yeah. But again, I would have had to win this match and then 4 more to get past the drop flag, and I just wasn't feeling like I was going to do that, especially since 2 weeks from now, like if Schmidtty wins his next race, he has to play the loser of RCS versus Unos. And I've played both of them already. It's not an easy match.
No, I don't think most people would expect it to be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beatable. You just have to get RCS on a bad day, and you got to get Unos really interested in something that happens in the game, and he'll just spend like the next 30 minutes investigating it instead of actually racing. That's how you beat Unos.
Yeah, but that's only the first step of this valley of death. If we want to use the
yeah, let's use it.
The next match after that would be Thurwolf, Buzz Thunder, or Melee Wizard. So whoever ends up making it out of that would be the next opponent. So you're looking at Unos. Well, let's say, Unos and Rose City Saint. Rose City Saint's the number 1 seed, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Unos falls down into the loser's bracket. Then you have Thurwolf or Buzz Thunder, potentially Melee Wizard too. Upset's definitely a thing in this bracket. But, after that, then you get the potential of Lightning, J. Coper, or Trails. Somebody's going to have to fall down into the loser's bracket out of that group. And at that point, after you get through that murderer's row, then you're finally into the losers round 6, which is the finals flag, because it would be the loser's side finals. So that's a bit of a treacherous path, to put it bluntly.
Oh yeah, certainly. Not in any way, shape, or form an easy path.
So, all right, where do we want to go with this? fon2d2 seems to have muted out. Amazing. Do you have anything left to say? Fondu, jump in there. Help us out a little bit. What?
I was glad to play the tournament.
Aside from the child, was there anything else that really stuck out to you and you kind of went, all right, well, this was either really good or really not so good about this particular seed?
I just got turned around a lot on the Eastern continent. For some reason, I couldn't quite figure it out that there was a pass-through cave needed, but I wasn't just hitting the right entry for the pass-through cave.
Yeah, that can be pretty tough.
And I spent a lot of time canvassing.
And I mean, you guys have all done a good job to make it this far, as it is. These seats these seeds are going to happen, and I'm sure we're going to have more very interesting seeds in the future. Hopefully we get some Pass Through Death Mountains into a cove that you need boots to get through to get to the raft spot. That's what I always hope for.
How about no?
No, you. Aw. Doesn't it sound fun? Just a little.
I would love to see that level of trolling.
I'm doing the reverse. I usually roll myself trolley stuff for practice and get something easy for a race, and then this week I rolled easy stuff for practice and got trolley race seeds the last couple weeks.
Well, it's certainly been a pleasure for you guys to, for us to commentate on you guys' race. It was a good race all around. We had a lot of back and forth. I think that's probably about it for tonight. Anyone got any last thoughts on the?
Just that I'm kind of glad to have time to stream other games again. This is 7th week of the tournament, so I'm kind of fine checking out at this point.
Yeah, it's a long tournament. And you're going back to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament?
Me? No, I'm not in that. I'll probably be doing Dragon Warrior for RTAs.
Cool.
If I can find my cart. I lost it when I moved.
Good luck with that. But,
yeah, anyone else got anything else going on? Any other races you're in?
I want to mention, because I know you barely ever do it. There were 2 trackers for this race.
I'm horrible at that.
Dompe and Lightning, who helped us out behind the scenes, and it would be a crime to not mention them at least and give them the props they deserve for getting us through that, and especially with 4 runners in the race trying to keep up with, does this runner have this? Does that runner have that? Especially when the inventory screen opens for that little split section, you either catch it and you know it's happening, or you don't. But at that point, I definitely want to say thank you to the trackers.
Yeah, and I will turn myself over to the authorities for failing to mention the trackers for any races. I apologize for all that, but in my defense, this time I'm gonna say thank you for Norinato for being the restreamer. That's you, right, Nori?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I was just waiting for my moment. I also want to mention that we have 2 more races coming up tomorrow. Buzz Thunder versus Melee Wizard, and at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 17:30 UTC, and at 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC, we have Jay Coper versus Lightning, who was one of our trackers tonight, along with Dompe. And I also want to thank Nightcrawler and Freako for doing commentary today. Thank you so much. And also, thanks and congratulations to all the runners tonight, especially for agreeing to do this 4-runner match so that we could all get them on Restream. So make sure to give them all a follow, please. And I guess that's it for me. Anything else from anyone?
I'm good.
Okay, guess we will.
Yeah, I think that Lightning versus Jay Coper match definitely one to look at. It will be I guess not entirely a quarterfinal match, but the winner will meet Trails in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I believe it's winner's bracket round 3. Yes.
Yeah, that is a round 3 match. When you get to round 4, it will be the quarterfinals.
And Buzz Thunder versus Melee Wizard is loser's bracket round 2.
Correct. And the unfortunate prize of winning that race is a date with Thurwolf.
Oh.
So that is part of that very difficult section of the losers bracket where, you could see the number 3 or number 4 seed, if not both, all falling before, they get back into the 4th round of the loser's side.
Mm-hmm.
So a very treacherous part of the bracket going forward, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I guess ready to call it a night, everyone?
Oh, yep.
Okay. I think thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Hope to catch you again soon. Okay, take care. Have a good night, day, morning, evening, wherever you are. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.